Behind me here is a quad I picked up for $500. In this video, I'm going to show you what to do, what to look for to pick up a quad for cheap and make sure you don't get burnt. So first, let's get this thing washed up and then we'll get on with it. Okay, we're all cleaned up. I went ahead and cleaned up the fenders and plastics because someone spray painted it all, which is a red flag. So to start off, we'll go with that. If you come across a quad on Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, whatever, and it's spray painted mostly, bad sign. That's usually because it was stolen and people are trying to hide it from the owner. So more importantly, the checklist I usually go through is, first thing I'll do is I'll go in, check the oil, check the dipstick, see what it looks like, see if it's full. That'll tell you if they're keeping up on their maintenance, see if it's clean, if there's any metal flakes in it. Sometimes you can put it onto a rag and inspect for metal flakes with the flashlight a little easier. The next thing you're going to want to do, go under, make sure there's no cracks in the cases. You want to make sure that it's not leaking oil everywhere. See if the drain plug is stripped. Sorry for all the street noise. It's a Saturday morning and people, I guess, are still doing Christmas stuff. So after you check for all your oil leaks and everything, you want to go ahead and, if you have the capability of turning the motor over, regardless of it, if it runs or not, you want to go ahead and give it a pull start or a kick start, so you can test for compression. You can also jiggle. You can take the pull starter or kick starter and just give it a little bit of a light tug and listen for any clacking in the piston. You could sometimes tell if it's really worn out when the rings are bad. Oh, this is probably better for the lighting. So that's one thing that's really important, is being able to turn it over and feel that compression. If it runs, great, but in my case, it ran and it had a lot of issues, which I've gone through now and fixed them all pretty much. So hopefully we are in the clear finally. Another thing you want to check is, if you can, bring a little bottle jack or something, pick up the rear wheels, shimmy them around, see if the carrier bearing in the rear end is okay. See what the wheel bearings are doing, if they're falling off. You don't want that. And then also, obviously, feel the front, see how the tie rods are looking. Look for your CV shafts. If you have a four-wheel drive quad, I have a shredded one here. See how those wheels are doing. Go ahead and pull on the brakes. See what you got left in terms of brakes, because usually, if the brakes aren't maintained, people aren't taking care of the quad, the brakes are going to be completely useless. You can pull them all the way in. You also want to keep an eye out for any rust and really shoddy wiring that could have been done by someone very young. It's foreshadowing here. Another thing that I had in this quad is, when I went to buy it, it had heat wrap all over the exhaust, and I didn't think anything of it when I bought it. I thought maybe the original heat shield fell off and that was it. But came to find out this quad had a bad oil pump, and then that shredded the top end, which killed the cam. It's completely flat, and the timing chain and everything was bad. So I went through and I got the quad for $500, so I was in the clear. I'm still on the end of this, about $700, and it seems to be a good running quad now. It had good compression. I didn't have to tear the cylinder off or anything. So just be wary if they say it overheats. Something you can pick up if the quad runs, and I highly recommend it. We'll go over here. This is my '57 Chevy I feature on the channel a lot. pick one of these up at the Harbor Freight or the Walmart, and you can get this for maybe $25–30. And that is a infrared thermometer. And when you start your ATV, quad, or whatever, let it run for 10 minutes, put that onto the head, make sure it's not overheating. And that's a super useful tool to see if oil pumps are working. You can test out and see if your oil reservoir, your oil cooler, is getting oil to it, any clogs. And as far as working on deals and stuff, I've been buying and selling quads and dirt bikes for a long time. Let me know if you guys want one of these videos on the dirt bike side of things. I'm much more familiar with that side. I've bought in a few quads. It's a little much, more stuff to go wrong, more expensive. But where was I going with this? I remember. In terms of marketplace dealing, I usually do everything through marketplace. I like to stay away from Craigslist because it's a little more shady. You can't investigate anyone. I like to go through Facebook and find a good deal. You can't really lose on anything below $500. So even if it needs a full engine rebuild, you'll break even. I like to go into someone's profile, check them out, see what they're up to, give a little background check, see if they're real shady. That can help you in the long run be safe with your deal, especially if you're going alone to meet some stranger on Facebook. There's a lot of weirdos out there, and you can spare yourself some grief by doing a little check. So yeah, $500 is a really sweet range, but if it runs well and it's just cosmetic stuff, I would say up to $1,000 on, something in this category of quad. This is a Yamaha Big Bear 400, all fixed up in perfect condition. It's about $2,500 value. I don't know if this one's worth that because it's, it has some holes all through the plastics, and I have to put some more work into it to get there. But this particular one came with good tires. It's another thing you want to look for. Tires are expensive and they're a pain in the ass to get on, so if it has them, that's a massive plus. And when you start it up, you want to see if it smokes at all. So watch the exhaust pipe, and that's maybe it. I'm sure I'm going to remember something after I start editing this video, but I think that's it. Go out there, get yourself a project. You got to dive into it, and you'll figure it out. It's a fun journey, and I've done it a bunch of times. Gives you a little side hustle, a little side project. Get out there and start doing it. Catch you on the next one.